The Eagles have already made a number of key signings, but now there's one free agent that could turn the tide in the NFC. Will the Birds do it? And Howie Roseman addresses the criticism around Jordan Davis. What can we expect from the defensive tackle this season? But first, let's run it. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having a great weekend so far, and I hope that you didn't get caught with any April Fool's pranks or anything like that yesterday. Twitter was crazy, so hopefully you didn't. I almost got caught. I'll share with you in a second what that was. For those that are new, I'm Josh Davis, a lifelong Eagles fan, and I cover the Birds. So make sure to like and subscribe, turn the notifications on so that you'll be sure to catch all of the daily news, the coverage, the stories, everything else that we've got planned for the entire offseason leading up to the regular season and on. They say hindsight is 20/20, and wouldn't it be great if we could all go back and change things that we've done in the past? Our future, or I guess our present state, would probably be a lot better, but that's the way that life is, and you have to live with your choices. But as I bring up that, I'm thinking about Jordan Davis, and there was an article by Ruben Frank at NBC Sports. I've got it in the description below. Go check it out. It was a fascinating article, but really what he's talking about is Jordan Davis was a very hyped up and kind of a phenomenal athlete coming out of Georgia, thought to be going very early in the first round, but as we all know, he slipped to about the middle of the first round when Howie went and grabbed him. And a lot of people have been critical of that, but I think where you've got to give credit to Howie is that he's always doing things against the grain. Unconventional wisdom says one thing and Howie Roseman does another, but that's a very kind of risky way to live, and as Howie Roseman said, that's where you win. That's where you get your medal from. I mean, you're going to have to make choices like that where sometimes people, or a lot of people, are against you. But I thought what was fascinating is Howie went into even further, if you didn't catch it on the New Heights podcast, of why did the Eagles go with Jordan Davis and what the belief was in it.
Jordan Davis, 10 years ago, would have been a top 3 pick.
I agree.
And so you're going through it and you're going, why is this guy falling, right? And everyone's going, well, he only played 40% of the time at Georgia, you know? Mm-hmm. The guy won the Lombardi and the Outland Trophy. He was top 10 in the Heisman Trophy with the best defense in the country that won the national championship game. Yeah. And so you're going, what are we missing? A freak show athlete.
Freak.
What do we miss? Good character? Yeah, he was freaking captain of Georgia. I mean, I was with someone yesterday who said, unbelievable leader. One of the games we lost this year, who was at the front of the locker room greeting everyone?
Yeah. He's got an unbelievable personality.
Yeah, unbelievable personality. Yeah. And so you're going, what is going on here? And it's like, well, he can't play on third down.
Why? Yeah.
I mean,
he
that
runs
guy's
a 4.7 and he's 360.
That guy gets ahead of steam.
Yeah.
How are you stopping that guy, you know? And so it's like, that to me was a situation where it's like, all right, why is he playing 40 or 50% of the plays? Well, really look at the games that Georgia was in last year. They were winning 42-7 in the third quarter, most of those games. And then they're smart. They have all these 5-star recruits.
Well, that's the other area.
We got to keep these guys here.
We have all these unbelievable players. We need to utilize all of them so that everybody's happy and it's a good team environment.
So we don't lose them a year from now when Jordan leaves.
If he's on another team, I guarantee he's playing on third down and rushing the passer.
And in the close games, in the national championship games, he's playing 60% of the plays.
Right.
And so when I look at that, I'm going, man, like that's an opportunity.
So now the question becomes, does Jordan Davis live up to the hype? And will he live up to the expectations of Howie Roseman and the risk that he took, or maybe a little bit of the small risk that he took to take Jordan Davis? You could argue that he didn't have a great season or that he didn't live up to quite the expectations, but let's remember Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, the number of signings that we made even mid-season. We got Milton Williams, obviously, but Linval Joseph and Domkong Suh joining to the mix or adding to the mix. So there wasn't a lot of third downs that he was really even playing in. So you're going to have this season now, is what we're seeing is shaping up, that Jordan Davis is going to have to be the guy. But I think if you take a look at that interview there and you see what Howie's saying, he trusts him. He says, you know what? That guy can play third down. What is his answer to it? He says, why? Why can't he play third down? He's a beast. He's ridiculously athletic, and now he's going to be having the opportunities and almost forced to playing those third down opportunities. So thumbs up for Jordan Davis. I think it's going to be exciting to see what he can actually do in third down situations, because you're not even going to say, hey, it's only first and second down. He's going to get a bigger role, and I think he could have a monstrous season. I'm excited to see how he plays this season, but let me know what you guys think. What do you think about Jordan Davis? Is he going to have a breakout season? Was this not so great of an idea, or are we just kind of waiting and sitting on the fence to say, yeah, let's hang on and just see what he does for this year? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Okay, I know I mentioned, obviously, yesterday was April Fool's, and hopefully, again, you didn't get caught with any pranks or anything crazy. I almost did. I'll fess up to it. I'll own up to it. Yesterday was on Twitter. I knew better. I should not have been doing doing that because there's so many things that always happen on Twitter during April Fool's Day. But I saw this, and you see it on your screen here, the tweet from Eagles Nation. Congratulations. Thank you so much for giving me a scare. But at first it was, hey, you see breaking, you're thinking, no, there's a deal getting done. Eagles have signed Ezekiel Elliott to a 1-year, $10.5 million deal per ESPN. It looked official, but the $10.5 million was what gave it away, thankfully. So it was like a small, maybe 1 second, half a second freak out, like, oh no, this is a terrible mistake. Because if you've been following this show, you know that I am not for Ezekiel Elliott. No way, no how, do not sign him. Thankfully, there was just a very momentary pause and almost a freak out, breath of fresh air, obviously realizing that it's fake. And I'm glad that we are past April Fools now, because any news that comes out is not second guessing or just flat out untrue. I did a show earlier this week talking about the Eagles and obviously being synonymous with safeties and great safety play. We've known all the greats, got into kind of some sleepers in the draft. J.L. Skinner is a possibility, but someone who kind of takes the baton, that steps up as the new leader, especially in the defensive backfield area. I know we've got great corner play, but there's almost always been that rock solid safety. One of those guys who's going to be here for a number of years. Obviously, Cedric Gardner-Johnson is not here anymore, so he's not going to be that guy. But who's the next guy to kind of step up and be that leader? Could it be a Reed Blankenship, or is it someone that you sign in free agency? And there's a name in particular. You guys may have already seen this now because it's getting a lot of buzz, but Ryan Neal. So the Seahawks have released Ryan Neal, the safety who quite honestly played fantastic last season, and he's got strong ties to Sean Desai. So you make a case there, that could be a very, very interesting signing. If you get a player like that, knowing Sean Desai's system, and according to Pro Football Focus, he had over at like the 85.4 grade for a safety last year. So really great player, awesome in pass protection, but also you talk about a guy who's 6'3", 200 pounds. So take a look at this article from ESPN. It says Seahawks rescind tender on restricted free agent Ryan Neal. The Seattle Seahawks have withdrawn the restricted free agent tender on safety Ryan Neal, according to ESPN's Phil Yates. The unexpected move makes Neal an unrestricted free agent and clears $2.627 million in much-needed cap space for Seattle. The Seahawks assigned Neal the low RFA tender earlier this month, which meant a 1-year offer of the $2.627 secured their right to match any offer sheet that they might sign with another team. But their depth chart and salary cap picture have since changed. The Seahawks signed former New York Giants starter Julian Love to a 2-year deal, $12 million deal, bolstering their safety depth behind Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs with a player they didn't expect to be available at that price. The article goes on to say here, Neal, 27, has been an unsung hero for the Seahawks in each of the past 3 seasons and was one of their defensive MVPs last year while again filling in for an injured Adams. Neal had a career high with 66 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 8 passes defensed. He also had an interception, a sack, a forced fumble in 14 games, missing 3 because of a knee injury, end quote. That's very intriguing. And like I said, Eagles need a safety. We know that. You've made some signings, obviously, with a Justin Evans and a Terrell Edmonds, and you can make the case for the argument of, hey, it's already getting very crowded. But I think this is the phenomenal signing you need to make. This is the one last big move or the big acquisition to solidify that area of your defense. Because let's be honest, those guys that we've signed so far, like an Evans, like an Edmonds, there's a low risk, high reward, but we're not really expecting a whole lot. But this guy right here, he's a proven commodity, and he's also played with Desai, like I mentioned. So I think this would be great. Thumbs up if they could get the deal done with Ryan Neal. I don't think that it's going to cost a ton of money. Obviously, you saw the low tender. Now, the question then becomes, is it legitimately possible? I mean, will the Eagles do it? Will Howie Roseman do it? I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence of thinking that it's not going to get done, as sad as that would be. But the question kind of is, well, wouldn't have Howie have already done this? Because he could have. They had such a low tender, the Seahawks did, that they were almost baiting teams to say, hey, come sign him or come make an offer, because we're pretty much not going to match. Now he's officially released, so yeah, you could say, well, okay, at this point, it makes more sense because now you can actually go out and do it. But the fact that the Eagles didn't really, and Howie Roseman didn't make a strong attempt to sign him, it makes me a little bit on the fence or kind of skeptical of a deal that could be done here. Again, I'm all for it, and I want it to get done, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is this the last kind of missing piece in terms of the defensive backfield area, the safety spot? I think it would be awesome to have Ryan Neal here. And let's remember, it would be a return for Ryan Neal. He was signed to the practice squad in 2018 and then got let go. So unfortunately, he didn't stay, and he's panned out very well for the Seahawks, but now they're letting him go because they have too much depth at safety, and that's something that we could use. So again, would love to see that. We'll have to see how it plays out over the next couple of days, but we'll keep you posted for sure. I'm looking forward to, as the days and weeks come, we'll have so much more content. Going to be doing a collab with Joe Castro, as many others as well. I'm trying to line up some other shows. We'll also be doing some kind of grades on potential sleepers or mid-round draft picks. I know the first round is something something that we've all been targeting quite a bit. But I'm going to try to get into some names that maybe people aren't as familiar with, but guys that the Eagles should be targeting. So be on the lookout for shows and videos to come. Appreciate you guys joining as always. Make sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Josh Davis, and this has been the Philly Special.